to emulate Seraki Dixon to develop sports in the country. This he made known at the unveiling of this year's Nanaye Dixon Wrestling Competition in Abuja.
Today is indeed a validation of your interest, of your investment, and of your support for sports development.
The Henry Seraki Dixon Foundation continues to promote sports development, and particularly grassroots, community-based sports development.
In the meantime, members of staff of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, have been charged to engage in regular exercise to keep a healthy life. This was the thrust of speakers at a walk exercise to kickstart the maiden edition of NTA NUJ Press Week in Abuja.
We should stay on this team and ensure that Nigeria and Nigerians come back to the right path and will do it well.
You need this. Not just once in a while, but all the time, so that you can keep yourself fit.
I feel healthier this morning. It's like a heavy burden has been lifted off my shoulder.
It is a thing of honor to us that the management has given us the opportunity to hold this week, which is our maiden edition.
To volleyball, Nigeria Customs, Sunshine Spikers, OFA VC, Nigeria Immigration, as well as the Nigeria Police Force recorded victories in the day 4 matches in the men's category at the ongoing final phase of the Nigeria Volleyball Premier League in Abuja.
We had a very good match, quality opposition by all standard, and I'm happy we won.
Nigeria Customs beat NSCDC 3-1 to maintain their unbeaten run. Sunshine Spikers were in cloud 9 as they recorded their third win over Nigeria Correctional Service 3-0, while OFA VC defeated USEM VC with the same scoreline. Kano Pillars came from a set down to beat Nigeria Immigration 3-1 as Nigeria Police got their first victory against Chief of Army Spikers 3-1. With Sports Update, Cynthia Ogun, NTA News.
Activities marking the NTA NUJ Press Week has begun, and with me in the studio is the chairman NUJ NTA Headquarters Chapter, Comrade Emmanuel Anyimiro, who will be speaking to us on other activities to mark the week. Comrade, it's nice to have you in our studio. Of course, it's your studio as well.
Thank you for having me, Elizabeth.
All right. In the history of Nigeria, the press play an important role. And considering the theme of this week, which is the role of the media in Nigeria's democracy, how well are we playing this role as pressmen?
First, let me start by saying that the idea of Press Week was conceived for journalists to come together towards the end of the year to celebrate and have a get-together. As you know, journalists usually have difficult times because they have to meet up with tasks. They have, particularly for those of us who are in the broadcast, we run up and down in order to be able to deliver. And so it's very difficult for us to have time to socialize or time to really come together to celebrate ourselves. So that is why we are also joining other media practitioners across the world to celebrate our week. And considering the theme of the celebration has to do with the security, the role of the media in Nigeria's democracy, you know currently that Nigeria is passing through some challenges, particularly security challenges. And media practitioners, as members of the Fourth Estate of the Realm, have a big role to play in nation building. So it is expected that as journalists, we should make our reportage in such a way that it will not cause any division in the country.
Of course.
Our reportage are expected to be objective. We are not expected to report issues based on sentiment. So we have invited some experts to come and speak to us on how we can fine-tune ways and styles of reporting so as to continue in our role of nations building.
So what should we be expecting now that the week has begun?
Yes, today we started with work which you just saw. That's sensitization work. By Saturday, we will be featuring 3 different sports, starting with a 5-a-side football match. We are expected to either have a football match with the management staff or with NTA football team. And that will be followed by a badminton championship for those who are participating in that category. And the last a competition will be a table tennis competition where some of our members will also be playing and competing for a trophy.
Comrade Emmanuel Ayimiro, Chairman, NUJ Chapter, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on the news.
Appreciate it.
Critical stakeholders at the Niger State Council of the Nigeria Labour Congress is charting a new course that will place the state at par with other states for the effective implementation of social protection cover in the areas of housing and health. This was at a roundtable discussion tagged Review of Protection Cover and Implementation in Niger State. Fatima Ali reports.
The Nigerian Labour Congress Niger State Council describes as almost overwhelming the colossal dysfunction of entire social protection cover in the state, ranging from housing to health insurance schemes. This is more with the current liability of defined benefits pension scheme, which has continually suffered policy somersaults and now stands at more than 20 billion naira and still rising. This roundtable discussion therefore seeks to, among other things, enhance contributions of participants on the challenges of social protection cover implementation and its implication on the industrial harmony, crime, insecurity, and patriotism.
Yes, of course, we have our own shortcomings. We are working assiduously, waiting to see the communique of this particular discussion. There we can now chart a new course and see how we'll be able to resolve some of those issues.
In our determination to improve on the efficiency and productivity of civil service in Niger State, the NLC will continue to invent strategies to ensure that the civil servants in the state continue to compete favorably with their counterparts anywhere in Nigeria and the world at large.
And to the participants drawn from all sectors of economy across the state, it is an opportunity to synergize with the administrators and beneficiaries of the social cover to enhance optimal performance. In Mina, Fatima Ali, NTA News.
And Nana in our Sokoto studio is standing by with some reports for us. Nice to see you, Nana.
Nice to see you too, Elizabeth. Welcome to Sokoto. Governor Aminu Waziri Tambol says that the reconstruction of the burnt shops at the Sokoto Central Market will soon commence. Tambol made the disclosure while inaugurating the 19-member committee that will handle the disbursement of the financial support to traders affected by the fire outbreak in Sokoto. Alhatu Abdullahi reports.
The 19-member committee is headed by Namadina Abdurrahman, who also chaired the committee that verified the traders who lost their wares in the inferno. Over 4,000 traders were verified to have been affected in the fire incident that razed part of Sokoto Central Market. Inaugurating the committee that will handle disbursement of financial support to the victims, Governor Tambol hopes the committee will be just and fair in its assignment. 1 billion naira was realized through donations, including the support of Sokoto State Government.
I will make sure that on this committee are our brothers and sisters from other parts of the country who are also traders in the same market, so that all shades of opinion and interest will be represented on this committee.
Our intention is to do the distribution fairly and proportionately according to the losses of those people involved. We are not going to pay anybody by proxy. We are not going to pay anybody outside the list given to us by the government.
It could be recalled that in January this year, the popular Sokoto Central Market experienced another tragic fire outbreak, burning over 4,000 shops, leading to loss of property worth billions of naira. In Sokoto, Dalhat Abdullahi, NTA News.
Magistrate Court 1 in Sokoto has remanded Rahila Yakubu in Correctional Center for alleged grievous hurt, wrongful confinement, and cruelty to a child. Sheikh Muhammad Dati reports that the accused is the stepmother to the victim, Hafsat Zulkiflu.
In Sokoto, the story of Hafsat Zulkiflu, who was allegedly maltreated by her stepmother, Rahila Yakubu, has been trending especially on social media platforms. The teenage girl, Hafsat Zulkiflu, was said to have been allegedly maltreated by her stepmother, as a result of which she suffered fracture on her limb. Her story was reported to Human Rights Commission and subsequently to the police. Although investigation is still on in respect of her alleged ordeals, the accused, Rahila Yakubu, was arraigned before Magistrate Court 1, Sokoto. The prosecutor, Inspector George Idoku, told the court that Rahila Yakubu had allegedly maltreated the teenage girl, an offense punishable under sections 233B, 208B of Sokoto State Penal Code 2019 as amended. The accused, Rahila Yakubu, pleaded not guilty, and her counsel, Shamsu Dauda, applied for her bail, which was vehemently resisted by the prosecutor. The presiding judge, Fatima Hassan, therefore ordered that the accused, Rahila Yakubu, be remanded in Correctional Center until 22nd December 2021, when the ruling on bail application will be given.
Courts having considered that the offences in which the defendant is being charged with are not ordinarily bailable, and also investigation is still in progress, so she ordered for a remand in prison custody pending the investigation.
The court wants to take its time and look at the argument conversed by both the prosecution and the defense, and to decide whether to grant her bail or not.
If the accused Rahila Yakubu is found guilty, she will be punished in accordance with the new Sokoto State Penal Code 2019 as amended. In Sokoto, Shehu Muhammad Datti, NTA News.
Well, that's it here for us here in Sokoto. Nationwide continues with Elizabeth in Abuja.
Thank you, Nana. The National Judicial Council has barred the 3 judges of courts of concurrent jurisdiction who granted conflicting ex parte orders in matters with same parties in subject matter from promotion to higher bench for a period ranging from 2 to 5 years whenever they are due. The affected judges are Justice Okobule Basam of the High Court of Rivers State, Justice Nsurat Umar of the High Court of Kebbi State, and Justice Edem Ita Kufri of the High Court of Cross River State. The erring judges were also issued warning letters. In another development, the National Judicial Council has also approved the appointment of 63 judges for 16 states, 9 of which are heads of courts. Before now, inmates at custodial centers were viewed as some of the worst elements that should not be identified with for any reason. Such view may have come as a result of a poor perception of these inmates, who today are proving the naysayers wrong through various rehabilitation programs they are receiving, courtesy of the Nigeria Correctional Service. Clement Barikwe has more.
No individual is born to become socially irresponsible, but as fate would have it, once an individual finds himself here and this gate is shut behind him, it is expected that the next time this gate will be opened, such an individual should be coming out a new person. Agreed that it is not everyone who may immediately adapt to a new lifestyle, but these inmates in Ikorekpene Custodial Center are keeping with programs that will fully reintegrate them back to the society. One major issue that dominated discourse here is the stigmatization of ex-offenders.
It's not a prison. It's not a punishment center. It's a place that will be corrected.
It's an all-important aspect that has made them to perform, as you have seen.
So they still have the right to their dignity, they still have their right to life, they still have their right to non-stigmatization.
The event may have ended, but the message of raising support for ex-offenders and saying no to stigmatization is there for individuals and corporate bodies to embrace. Clement Barikwe, NTA News.
Strategies to make the presidential amnesty program more responsive to the needs of the people and improve the economic viability of the Niger Delta region are at the front burner. This follows an economic summit to harness the non-oil export potential of the region and boost entrepreneurship amongst the amnesty beneficiaries, which held in Warri Delta State. Austin Idemodu reports.
The Economic Summit with the theme Restoring Wealth Creation in the Niger Delta region is being championed by the interim administrator of the Presidential Amnesty Program, million Diko with a new paradigm shift in training, employment, mentoring of beneficiaries aside the regular 65,000 naira monthly stipends to the ex-agitators.
You need to secure the economy first. And so, if there is anything you are doing that does not contribute to securing the economy, you are on the wrong trajectory.
There is consensus amongst the resource persons that economic wastages, lack of transparency and accountability in the activities of some interventionist agencies in the region are major drawbacks to the desired development. They therefore challenged the participants to embrace agricultural entrepreneurship, formation of cooperatives, and engage in export activities to make the Niger Delta a regional economic power with global stake.
I've been able to, introduce to them that beyond oil, the region is rich in agricultural produce as well as solid minerals and other manufacturing opportunities.
There has to be a radical paradigm shift towards rehabilitation. It requires a lot of money. It requires that the economy is moving. It requires that after trading them, you need to be able to employ them.
For the participants, the summit is a stepping stone towards achieving a dream Niger Delta where equal economic opportunities and shared prosperity will thrive. I'm Austin Edemodu, NTA News.
In other news, the Niger State government has urged farmers in the troubled zones across the state not to comply with the bandits' purported directive asking them to pay levy before harvesting their farm produce. The State Commissioner for Local Government, Chieftaincy Affairs and Internal Security, Emmanuel Umaru, who gave this indication at a press briefing in Minna, also hinted that the hoodlums who carried out mass killings of worshippers at a mosque have also been apprehended. Mukhtar Abubakar Wowo reports.
Niger State Commissioner for Local Government, Chieftaincy Affairs and Internal Security Emmanuel Umaru, while countering some negative narratives making the rounds on social media, set the records straight on the efforts of the state government in protecting lives and property of its citizens. Emmanuel Umaru says even though some parts of the state are still experiencing security challenges, he retorted that successes have been recorded in the fight against bandits and other criminal elements across the state.
Those who committed the crime at Mazakuka have been arrested by the police.
The commissioner, while urging residents of the state to support the government in the fight against terrorism and banditry to ensure relative peace in all parts of the state, told farmers to disregard the purported directive by the bandits, asking them to pay some levies before accessing their farmlands.
We are not ignorant that these criminals in some communities are extorting people, but the government is doing everything possible to ensure that our community are rid of these criminals.
He also disclosed that the Niger State government has assented to the Vigilante Code law to strengthen the state's internal security architecture by bringing vigilante groups under a unified structure for optimal performance. In Minna, Mukhtar Abubakar, NTA News.
And it's time to head to Jos, where Frama is standing by. Hello, Frama.
Hello, Lizzie. Welcome to Jos. Leaders of various religions in Plateau State have been told not to relent in preaching peace for meaningful development. This was when the state coordinator of the National Orientation Agency, Nanyak Zinkat, visited the leaders of Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, and Jama'atul Nasr Islam, JNI, in Jos. Rodkang Dimka reports.
In continuation of the national program titled Building a People of Peace Towards Enhancing National Security, the management team of the Plateau State National Orientation Agency urged the Christian Association of Nigeria to join the agency to spread the message of peace as it presents the national flag to the CAN chairman, the official symbol of peace in the country.
In the second stanzas of our whole national anthem, our flag shall be a symbol that peace, so that flag is a symbol of peace.
The chairman, Christian Association of Nigeria in the state, Very Reverend Father Polycarp Lubo, assures the agency of their commitment to peace calling on parents to lead their children in line with the tenets of the Christian faith.
Whatever should be upheld or rejected should be rejected because it does not conform to our teaching.
The agency's next port of call was the Jamaatul Nasrul Islam Jos North headquarters, where officials urged the leadership of the organization to reach out to their members on the need to embrace peace for a united Plateau and Nigeria at large. The Jamaatul Nasrul Islam appreciated the National Orientation Agency for spreading the message of peace.
I think if all of us are going to play our roles as religious organizations and then really teach what the religious books ask us to do, I think we'll pass this stage.
The National Orientation Agency is saddled with the responsibility of sensitizing Nigerians towards national development. In Jos, Rutkan Dimka, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Plateau State Peace Building Agency is calling on media professionals to report more on issues that will further unite the country, irrespective of ethnicity. The agency gave the charge in Jos while interacting with newsmen on the role of media in bringing about lasting peace on the plateau. Zere Dungmun has details.
The briefing is an avenue to reach out to the public on how far the agency has gone in the effort to ensure peace is restored and emerging threats are nipped in the bud. Director General of the Plateau Peace Building Agency says the media remains a key player in the promotion of peace, noting that partnership with the media has yielded positive results over the years.
On behalf of the Plateau State Peace Building Agency, express our profound gratitude to you for the work you have been doing to douse tension, to counter negative narratives, to ensure that communities understand themselves, most importantly, for the work you have been doing to promote the agenda of peace.
Mr. Lengman says the agency has also made significant progress through practical engagement with the media, non-governmental organizations, religious bodies, and traditional institutions.
The media also in Plateau State has evolved. And I think if we say that there is a decline in the spate of violent conflict in Plateau State, I think that credit also goes to the media.
He further explained that the agency needs practical and viable inputs from the fourth estate of the realm that will engender peace and also be productive and beneficial to the agency. In Jos, Zenra Dingmoon, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Jos. We'll pause here for a break, after which Nationwide will continue with Elizabeth in Abuja.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth entrepreneurship support years by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths.
Over Femi Martins. Just look at this. Remember the name.
The African Cup of Nations starts on the 9th of January 2022 on NTA, powered by Afrosports. For sponsorship and advertisements, contact us on 090-9890-6913 or 090-3513-2838.
Norwich City are desperate for another 3 points in their battle for survival in the Premier League. Can they cause an upset against the Hammers? This Saturday, it's West Ham United versus Norwich City on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 3:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu and powered by Integral.
You're still watching Nationwide. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps says it is determined to stamp out illegal oil bunkering in the Niger Delta region. The Commandant General of the NSCDC, Ahmed Abubakar Audi, reaffirmed this during his maiden visit to Rivers State. Robinson Deratide reports.
It was the first visit of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps Commandant General CG Ahmed Abubakar Audi to Rivers State. Worried about rising spate of vandalism of national assets and illegal oil bunkering, which has resulted to recent fire outbreaks at residential areas in Port Harcourt metropolis, the visit becomes necessary to boost the morale of officers and send a warning to perpetrators that it's not going to be business as usual. 40 suspected oil thieves, 10 overloaded trucks, vandalized oil pipes, and several drums filled with adulterated petroleum products were paraded by the CJ.
The Corps is poised to meet any group of persons or individuals intending to tamper with the critical national assets and infrastructure of the nation within the state with stiff resistance.
Alongside the newly posted zonal commandant, James Bassey, the CJ was conducted around strategic locations, including the NNCDC dockyard, where several tankers with adulterated products were confiscated. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Deratide, NTA News.
6 persons were confirmed dead, amongst them 4 youth corps members, in a ghastly auto crash along Gumbi-Potoskum Road in Yobe State. The incident, which occurred Wednesday night, was said to have been caused by a tractor having no indicator or any form of identification. While attempting to avoid a head-on collision with a trailer, the Sharon bus driver conveying the returning youth corps members was first to hit the tractor from behind, which resulted in the casualties. It was gathered that 5 other occupants of the bus suffered serious degree of injuries and were rushed to the specialist hospital Potoskum for treatment, while those with severe injuries were referred to the Federal Medical Center Azare in Bauchi State for proper medical attention. The Imo State government is taking the fight against drug abuse to secondary schools across the state to sensitize students on the effects of illicit drugs. Doris Alex reports.
The issue of drug abuse, especially among the youth, is attaining a worrisome dimension, going by its harmful effects on their mental health and the society at large. The Imo State government is taking the campaign against drug abuse to schools to create awareness on the need to shun illicit drugs. This sensitization campaign brought together students of high school, Omaka, in Njaba local government area of Imo State. They were taken through the side effects of illicit drugs and how they can be lured into it.
Today, I'm surprised, I'm shocked that even the children, as small as they are, they all know them. So that tells you that they have been coming in contact with them. So me and you will be somewhere working, and our children will be somewhere playing about with all these drugs and damaging their health.
Drug abuse can lead to death, it can lead to premature death, and it also damages the body immune system.
I learned that drug abuse is not good for human health. I'm happy about it because it helps us to know the effect of drug abuse on human body.
It is hoped that this campaign will go a long way in addressing the growing concerns over drug abuse among students in secondary schools in the state. In Owerri, Doris Alex, NTA News.
Meanwhile, schools without Parents Teachers Association, PTA, should be closed down with immediate effect. This was the position of guests on Good Morning Nigeria today. Thomas Obetere has details.
The menace of bullying in Nigerian schools no doubt has reached an alarming stage, as many students and pupils have lost their lives to it in the past. Sylvester Oremini's case is quite recent, and the tragic incident has sparked outrage across the country. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria are of the opinion that there is need to give students and pupils proper orientations to speak up. while government, parents, and school authorities on their parts must create safe channels that will enable them speak up against the bullies and bullying.
It is sad that the cultism that permeated tertiary institutions have also extended to primary schools,
where they are now forced and beaten and, all sorts of activities on a child that is refusing to join them.
So even when the child is reporting bullying, they are not quick to withdraw the child from that school. And then the second way is that the school do not want to lose clients.
You cannot take away the place of parents, like most of the speakers have said. So it's usually a time for the school to remind the parents of their roles. And then it's also a time for the school to hear from the parents the feedbacks they receive from children.
Most times that we talk about even this bullying, some of them learning from the teachers. When the teacher bullied the student in the classroom, they all see it. And it's okay, when I have the opportunity also to have power, I'm going to do the same thing.
Guests who lamented the current inadequate government supervision of schools, especially the private ones, noted that the life of any child is more important than the image of any school. Therefore, erring students should be appropriately disciplined. In Abuja, Thomas Ogbetere, NTA News.
The Nigerian Meteorological Agency has cautioned Nigerians on possibility of poor visibility in the coming days. A statement from the agency said visibility in most cities in the northern part of the country will deteriorate, keeping visibility to 1,000 meters and below over places like Maiduguri, Yobe, Nguru, Potoskum, Dutse, Gombe, Yola, Bauchi, Katsina, Kano and Kaduna. NIMET therefore warns that flight operations may be disrupted and airline operators are advised to adhere to regulations. NIMET also warns that high temperature is expected over parts of the northwest with the same temperature range in parts of the south. The agency urges Nigerians to drink plenty of water to prevent dehydration and avoid leaving humans or animals in the car, especially young children. President Muhammad Buhari is set to mark 79 years on Friday 17 without the joy of being with his family and the country he governs and seeking to maximize bilateral benefits in critical areas of Nigeria's safety, survival and economic development in a distant country, Turkey. In this report, Christiana Akonde details some achievements recorded by his administration in the last 6 years.
Noteworthy that as president in the last 6 years, he has had several achievements to his credit, although there are also challenges that need to be met in the remaining 15 months of his administration. As with all the countries around the globe, the coronavirus pandemic has thrown the biggest challenge for the obvious reason that it kept under attack not only the health of citizens but the economy and environment. In the last 2 years, President Buhari has led a government that put in place an effective mechanism to check the spread of the pandemic. He gave the experts the latitude of freedom and resources to lead the nation out of the crisis. And although new cases and deaths are rising lately and a fourth wave is being feared in many quarters, the proven competence of our administrators gives their reassuring solace that Nigeria will sail through with the increased awareness about health and hygiene. Furthermore, the president was handed an economy in 2015 just on the verge of a recession, compounded by the fall in oil prices occasioned by global recession. But the new administration surprised itself by pulling the economy out of recession in less than 2 years through careful handling and management. Furthermore, the current and projected economic growth figures are quite encouraging, and if measures to curb the existing high food inflation work well as they should, unemployment figures, which are officially at 34%, will be forced downwards through growth, particularly in ICT, agriculture and solid minerals. Exports are increasing in volume, setting a clear tone that the nation is set for a leading role in the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCTA. Agricultural growth could be attributed to bumper harvest in rice and other agricultural communities, which have been aggressively promoted by the lending schemes put in place by the Central Bank of Nigeria and other commercial banks, and the revival of the fertilizer industry currently results in the employment of thousands, saving $200 billion in import bills and more than 60,000 billions in government subsidies. In the last 6.5 years, President Buhari has taken historic decisions like signing into law the Companies and Allied Matters Act, (CAMA), the Climate Change Law, and the Petroleum Industry Act, (PIA). Politicians seeking political capital in the prevailing security situation in the country have a shock waiting for them, because this one is a way President Buhari is determined to win before he leaves the office in 2023.
To address the health needs of the citizenry at affordable cost, the Cross River State Government has flagged off health insurance scheme and basic health care provision fund program in Calabar. Udwak Etim reports.
The concept of universal health coverage is basically to give people access to essential high-quality health services, affordable medicines and vaccines, as well as ensure financial risk protection. Towards actualizing these targets, the Cross River State Government, through its health insurance scheme, has enrolled about 18,000 people so far, including the vulnerable.
What we've done is to ensure that at least the vulnerable group, pregnant women, children under 5, as well as the aged, can from today begin to access healthcare services.
The program works by you enrolling into the scheme. As you enroll, you are captured, you wait for 90 days, during which period your ID card is provided for you, which is what you are going to use in appearing at the center where you are empaneled to.
Wife of the Cross River State Governor, Dr. Linda Ayade, noted that strengthening healthcare system through the program is essential to achieving universal health coverage.
Or ill health is one thing that does not ring a bell before it happens. You will be well today and tomorrow you find yourself down. So it's not something that you prepare for. So it is very important.
Health stakeholders sued for the sustenance of the scheme for more people to access affordable medical needs. In Calabar, Udwak Etam.
And Udwak's report ends nationwide today. Thank you so much for your time. Don't forget the campaign is still on. Say no to rape. Good evening.